and Javon Blacksher Jr. in the starting lineup. Duke counters with the normal 5, and that's Tyrese Proctor, Sion James, Cooper Flagg, Con Knippel, and Khaman Maluatch, who wins the tap, and away we go. First meeting between the two schools in about 5 years, 4 and change. First is ACC members.
You see immediately Duke going to try to take advantage of the 6'6" point guard Sion James posting him against Blacksher.
And that's where Proctor has really been efficient this year. He's making all those shots. Last year he missed some of those. He's not missing that many this year.
And Sissoko and Maluatch immediately at the block. And there is a whistle blown, and it's on Khaman Maluatch from Rumbek in the South Sudan.
But Duke normally wants to start that game off getting to the inside. Oftentimes it's Maluatch with the lob. This time it's posting their point guard Sion James, who delivers another assist, where he's been one of the best in the ACC, especially when it comes to assist to turnover ratio.
Maudie Sissoko, the Michigan State grad transfer, is going to be a handful tonight for Duke. He is much improved and affecting the game for California here in the last half dozen or so. Stojakovic, 7 to shoot against James. Out of the corner, the 3 ball bounds away for Wilkson. Proctor on the drive with the right hand. Maluatch the follow.
Sissoko goes for the block shot. Coach, you always tell your big men crash the opposite side, correct?
Well, you can't almost get back. It's cleared out. There's a little guard over there. Everybody says block out, but there is no block out there. The ball goes right to where Maluatch is. It's an easy tip.
Knippel foul on the Stojakovic drive. It's his first, second on Duke.
Getting to the basket, but as Sissoko goes over to attempt to block the shot, no one there, as Coach mentioned, to take Maluatch off the glass. An easy bucket for him. But one of the things we got to be mindful of, Maluatch already picked up 1 personal foul in the first possession defensively for the Blue Devils.
Tyrese to put it in play, and that's a 5-second count. Aria, Eric, thanks very much. Georgia Tech a winner against Stanford at McCamish Pavilion in Midtown Atlanta. We welcome you to Cameron with Corey Alexander and Jim Boeheim, West Durham. You haven't missed. Tyrese Proctor's knocked down a 3, and he's had a scoop 2. Or Maluatch has had a follow of a Proctor miss, and here's Tyrese for another one that rattled out. Flagg the rebound for the Blue Devils, punched away by Blacksher. First meeting ever between the two schools in this building. Duke coming off the 6-point loss, of course, Saturday at Clemson, and Cal's trying to find their second ACC road win of the year.
And it's still, this is the toughest thing for Cal. 3 or 4 trips across the country. That is something that they're not talking about, but it's there.
But Coach, which game is more difficult, that first game, the midweek Wednesday game, or the Saturday game once you've been here and got an opportunity to get acclimated?
You know, both of them are difficult. The first one you're just getting here. The second one you've been here too long almost. So they're both difficult.
Nothing difficult for Tyrese Proctor, WD, getting off to a great start.
Yep. He's part of our storyline tonight, too. I thought John Shire's comments today about him were just fascinating. About a young man who's now, after a freshman flash, maybe a sophomore dip, now as a junior is really starting to accelerate this Blue Devil program. Bears trying to get on the board. Petritus inside, skips it back. Blacksher will toss another 3 away. Short, and James the rebound.
And when you come into Cameron Indoor, you get opportunities like that. You got to take advantage of them because Duke has tremendous spurt ability.
Stojakovic fights Maluatch for the rebound, and is that going to be the out-of-bounds last touch by Duke, I think.
Yeah,
and
no
not
foul.
The second foul on Maluatch.
No foul in that possession, just knocked off Maluatch out of bounds.
Jim, what about Tyrese Proctor? The patience of a junior, the guy who's now kind of seeing the floor, doing everything well.
It's the shooting percentages. He's making shots. He's not making mistakes. And he's the most, really, I think Knippel's really good, but this guy is underrated in terms of what he brings to the table. And on the other end, Cal can't shoot. They have games where they literally can't shoot.
But for Tyrese Proctor, WD, he came in with the reputation of a shooter.
Yep.
But his freshman year, midway through the season, went more to the point guard position, pushing Jeremy Roach off the basketball. So now getting him back on the wing with an opportunity to make shots, by being found by Cooper Flagg, by being found by Sion James, he's taking advantage of his opportunities.
Sissoko the follow of the Bears miss, and Cal's on the board. 3 minutes into the ball game. Malik Brown handling the rock for Flagg now. And here's Cooper on the drive, and it bounds away against Sissoko. Bears trying to get in transition. Stojakovic the catch.
Coach, if you're coaching Cooper Flagg on that possession, do you ask him to shoot the pull-up jump shot or continue to go in and attack the big guy on that one?
I like him to attack. That's what he does. Sissoko made a great play. He just got big, and it's a tough shot, but I like Flagg going to the basket.
Brown came in the game, by the way, to spell Maluatch for Shire's Blue Devils.
And Malik, what he brings in is defense, screening, great hands. He probably would lead the league in steals if he played more, because he's right there at a couple per game at 18 minutes.
Yeah, he's come back nicely from the knee injury.
And he did lead the league in steals a season ago, but of course continues to get his hand on basketball. Great from his deflection standpoint.
Stojakovic a fall away. Boy, really struggled on Saturday against Wake, was just 4 of 13.
And the last time that Stojakovic was in this area, it took him all the way to the late second half to get his first field goal at North Carolina. Struggled in that game offensively.
Well, he's struggled since he came back. I mean, it's been a real struggle for him. And Duke is a tough team. They switch so much and they get up on him. He's going to have to work for everything tonight.
Foul on Stojakovic in the front court as Duke handles. Here's Knippel winding through traffic and scores. First basket for the freshman from Milwaukee.
And he's really gotten better at putting the ball on the floor. He's not just a shooter. And people forget how big he is. He's big. He's a big guard. And he can get to the basket.
5-point lead for number 3 Duke. Still leading the ACC. After seeing their 16-game win streak snapped on Saturday at Clemson. Petritis out of the corner, and it's good. Redius Petritis, the Air Force transfer, just his 12th three of the year.
Petritis getting to that corner spot, giving his teammate an outlet, but him knocking down the three is a bonus. But he's played much better basketball as of late.
Proctor again, swatted out of there by Sissoko. That's going to get us to a timeout. An emphatic rejection by the Bears big man. Back in a moment.
Loss at Clemson on Saturday, looking to have a bounce back performance here tonight.
Blue Devils will have the ball after the rejection by Sissoko a moment ago. 10 to shoot though. Very quickly as James handles the possession. Flagg, fall away, left of the lane is good. First points of the night for the freshman from Newport, Maine.
And he's been relatively passive in first halves, especially at home when his teammates get going. Looking to see Cooper be a little more aggressive to start the game off. Now 1 of 2 from the field.
Here's Wilkson against James. Look at him fight for a spot right of the lane. Fall away. That's well short. Air ball. Brown the recovery. Isaiah Evans is in.
And you don't have to announce him. He's going to announce himself.
Yes, he does. Has never seen a shot he didn't take. Flagg fall away over Petritis and a foul on Redius Petritis. First on Petritis, second on Cal. The other one belongs to Blackshear, not Stojakovic. So a couple of free throws coming for the Blue Devils.
And Cooper Flagg finding the open spot in the center of the zone and then plays one-on-one against Sissoko. And Cooper's going to win that battle the majority of the time. He gets an opportunity to play one-on-one against anybody, but especially a big guy trying to move his feet.
Jim, it seems we keep looking for ways to keep talking about how good and how impactful Flagg is.
Well, I don't think you have to look too hard. Even I can see it from 90 miles up here without my binoculars. He affects the game at every end, in every way, shape, or form. Playmaking, defensive plays, block shots, making shots. So, I mean, that's why he's getting the attention he's getting. He's clearly, in my mind, far and away the best all-around player in college basketball. He does a little bit of everything. And the biggest thing with him, though, is he's got a will to win. I was talking to Coach K today, and that's what he talks about, his will, his toughness. And that's something you don't teach. He's got it.
If Mike Krzyzewski says you get the will to win, Corey,
you got it. He wouldn't come to lunch with us today because you two guys were there, and you didn't want to put up with two guys like you.
Coach, we've been holding you back all year.
Yeah, we have. I'm really sorry about all that, Jim.
It's amazing how I've overcome this.
It is. It really is. It's the story of the year, really, quite frankly, off the floor.
But West did
Joseph. He threw it away. Here's Evans again. The Duke turnover and a 6-point lead. Proctor had a 3 to open the game. James against Joseph Ola-Joseph, and a travel is called by Jeb Hartness. So Cal has gone to the bench, and Joseph Ola-Joseph is in the game. Lee Dort, the Vanderbilt transfer, and DJ Campbell out of Western Carolina, who is actually from the 757 Corey, is checked in for the Golden Bears.
A little Virginia flavor on the floor.
Yep. Proctor, James, Brown, Flagg, and Showtime Slim, Isaiah Evans out there for the Blue Devils. And here's Stojakovic against Brown.
This is what Duke is able to do with Malik Brown on the floor. You can switch defensively and still be able to make Cal make tough shots, but that time Stojakovic doing a great job getting in the paint, finishing with the left.
And that's what you have to do, try to drive it against Malik.
Brown tried to pocket pass, and it was inadvertently kicked. It'll stay with the Blue Devils, and another look at Andre Stojakovic.
And we talked about Stojakovic struggling from beyond the three-point arc. However, doing a great job getting downhill, able to finish with that left hand and avoid the shot blocking potential of Malik Brown.
So Flagg's out, Brown's out, James is out. Mason Gillis plays for the Blue Devils tonight for the first time in 3 games. He's missed the last 2 with illness.
And was very well missed by the Blue Devils at Clemson. He saved them in the game on the road against Wake Forest. Hit 3 huge threes at the end of that one.
And Eric Lewis, a 3-second call on Khaman Maluatch.
Well, that's a first. That's the first of the year. I mean, are you kidding me? That's it.
John Shire's like,
I didn't even know they had that call. I thought they eliminated that call.
I think John Shire is just as shocked as you are, Coach.
And it really wasn't that bad. I mean, normally to get a 3-second, you got to be in there about 8.
Here's Blackshear, rather, beg your pardon. Out front now. This is DJ Campbell. Blackshear with 11 to shoot, lost it on the dribble. Maluatch on the switch. Here's the kick for Stojakovic's 3. Missed everything. Ola-Joseph the rebound. And it's Blackshear with the horn going off on the shot clock. And a fresh 20 for the Bears.
This is a strength of the Bears. Offensive rebounding is, they lead the ACC in offensive rebounding. So one of the teams that you look for to be able to have to chase down their misses. And as Coach mentioned, they miss a lot of shots throughout the game.
Leaner from Stojakovic is short. Dort couldn't control it. Jeb Hartness says it belongs to Cal.
Well, and Stojakovic just isn't the same player before he got hurt. He was leaning in, he was making all those shots. He hasn't found his rhythm.
If you take away, games in the middle of the season, it's always difficult to get back into a rhythm. Interesting to see how Mason Gillis in game 1 back from being ill will be able to respond here tonight.
Proctor and Duke now on the run. Here's Maluatch. Tyrese tees up a deep 3 that's good.
We watched them go over that in their scouting report earlier today. John Shire urging his guys, if they go under that screen, they give you space, feel comfortable to let it fly.
Yep. 8 now for Proctor, pair of triples in tow. We're 8 minutes in. Duke's built a 7-point lead. Their largest here in the first half. Cal's missed their last 4 shots, and that's an offensive foul on the Vanderbilt transfer, Lee Dort. 3rd on Cal. That'll get us to a timeout. Blue Devils will have the ball and a 7-point lead when we come back.
Great start here this evening, just as he has been all season long. Really being that consistent offensive performer on the exterior for John Shire to go alongside Cooper Flagg and Con Knippel, the 2 fabulous freshmen for the Blue Devils. And Tyrese Proctor continues to grow. We talked with John Shire earlier today about his maturity, the way he's come along from what was a low point for him a season ago, the Arizona game in this building earlier, and he said it's been on a just absolute incline ever since.
Yeah, I think he's a huge key for this Duke team moving forward.
Sometimes you got to be patient, right, Coach?
Well, some guys it takes a couple years. Nobody wants to hear that, but with some guys it takes a couple years to get to where you want to be.
Duke by 7. Knippel will pull up. Oh, look at the shot over Dort. Maluatch fights for the offensive chance. Gillis a 3. Got it. Mason Gillis back in the ball game and on the scorebook.
Well, we talked about how he would look in his return. And his first shot looks pretty good, but Mason Gillis, of course, one of the best from beyond the arc for the Blue Devils, knocking down the 3-ball.
Stojakovic out to Campbell. Now here's Dort. Here's Wilkinson, J.O.J. Wilkinson thinks about it with 5 to shoot. Drives Gillis. Now they're going to throw it away if they're not careful. 2 to shoot. Dort or Ola Joseph. There it is. Shot clock violation.
Great defense.
Well, tuning up the defense, Corey, and when Gillis steps into the game and adds a 3, that's just extra.
But his experience is elite. You're talking about a young man that played a national championship game a season ago. Knippel with the extra pass there, passes up an opportunity for himself to get a great shot from Mason Gillis at the top of the key.
Isaiah Evans on the perimeter. Here's Maluatch. Back for Proctor. That'll bound away, and Ola Joseph the rebound. 10-point lead for the Blue Devils. Largest of the night, and Wilkinson a deep 3.
He's playing with a lot of, even when he's not making shots, he's still taking them. He's still playing with confidence, which is great for a freshman.
The coach, he gets in the starting lineup once Stojakovic is ill and is unable to be able to play. Now, how do you manage that when a guy comes back, Stojakovic back in the starting lineup, but Wilkins has been playing so well?
You know, they're 2 different positions, so he's going to get his shots, and Stojakovic's still going to get his shots. So my whole issue with Stojakovic is he hasn't come back to show that he can get by people and make plays since he's been back. And Wilkinson, I mean, he has no fear. He's just going to go. I mean, he's having a bad night, and he just steps up there and makes a 3 when they really need it. You know, when you're playing Duke in here, you can't let them get the 2 or 3 bucket spurt because they're going to run right away from you.
Khaman Maluatch at the line, 77%. His last 3 games, 5 points, 5 rebounds. As you see Flagg come back. And Mark Madsen has a line change again. He gets Stojakovic, Dort, and Ola Joseph out of the game. Brings Petritis, Blacksher, and Sissoko back.
And we talked about the game at Clemson for the Blue Devils where their 16-game winning streak was broken. Cooper Flagg played 38 minutes in that game with no Mason Gillis. He had to put in some extra time. Ended up cramping late in that game. And you could see did not have it in him to be able to will him to a win at the end of that one.
And they didn't make any excuses, but there's no question he was a little under the weather for that game.
Yeah, he's not an excuse maker, not going to give anybody that opportunity.
Wilkinson skips it. Petritis couldn't pull the trigger. He'll drive on Gillis. That got swatted by Maluatch. But first a foul.
That's the play where the guy guarding the ball's got to realize I got the shot blocker behind me. And Mason didn't have to reach in there. He could have just let it go. And Maluatch was going to have that one.
Petritis going to get a couple out of this. Junior transfer, Arlington, Texas. First one is good. Don't forget, our first men's lacrosse game of the season right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 7 Virginia welcomes Richmond to Klockner Stadium in Charlottesville. Coverage starts Saturday morning 11:30 on ACC Network.
I'm not going to be prejudiced or anything or biased, but watch out
You're
for Syracuse.
You're already being biased.
No, wait, you already laid the groundwork by saying you're not going to be.
And
well,
then
I know.
you were.
I'm making one
Blatantly
exception.
biased, by the way.
I'm allowed one exception.
Here's Flagg on the drive. He's got 6.
I've been to every lacrosse game for 40-some years, so I know what I'm talking about there.
Okay.
Word is you watched Jim Brown play lacrosse at Syracuse. I didn't say it.
I was only about 2 years old then. Come on.
Stop.
I was 12.
Here's Wilkinson.
I did watch him play football. He was fairly good.
Thanks. Appreciate the confirmation. 9-point lead on the miss.
Oh,
and
look at
they
that.
go to the deck. Gillis and Petritis. Hell ball will stay with the Blue Devils.
There's a little football right there from Gillis, who's built like a football player.
Hey.
He and Sion James.
Wait a second.
The 2 of those guys are put together down there.
Mason Gillis is second on the built like football players.
Yeah, he's
behind
second.
Sion James.
He's second, but when it comes to this court, he's only second to Sion James.
Oh.
He is a strong young man and absolutely willing to give up his body to go get the loose ball on the floor.
Sion James is a man. I mean, he is physical. He can guard. He can do a lot. He's a really good player.
Ironically, Sion James' football career came to a close on an ACL injury. Early in his high school career. There's a drive and a miss by Wilkinson. And Maluatch finally gets a rebound. Here's Caleb Foster off Jon Scheyer's bench into the lineup.
And this is a good opportunity for Caleb Foster to build some confidence, get going, and find his way truly to being part of this run for the Blue Devils. They're going to need him as this season goes along.
Maluatch! Second three of the year.
That's not good.
It's great for Maluatch, Coach.
Yes, it's very good. It's not good for Cal.
12-point lead now for the Blue Devils. Backdoor Sissoko.
Oh.
Yep.
Sissoko made him saw the dust on the top of the rim on that one, WD. He put his head in the rim.
Tell you what, Monty Sissoko is 6'9", listed at 240. Grad transfer from Michigan State from the West African country of Mali.
Tyrese Proctor, who played against Michigan State early in his career, asked Jon Scheyer, is that the same Sissoko that we saw at Michigan State? Because he's playing completely different for Cal.
Yep. Long three, good. That's Flagg.
Cooper Flagg now with 9 points. Shooting the basketball extremely well from the floor. WD, looking at his ACC numbers, it is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Over 50% from the field, over 40% from three. Continues to be great in every other category of the game. And in one rating, I'm not going to give them props because I don't really know their name, but he is the #1 defensive player in the nation.
Blacksher, 2 to shoot. 3 ball over James, missed everything. Another shot clock violation on Cal. Well, Duke is getting stops on defense, and they're fueling the fire with threes at the offensive end.
You got 2 freshmen knocking down the 3 ball. Maluatch has only got a few of them early in the year. Cooper Flagg has been shooting it much under the weather, but unable to stand the test against Ian Shepton, Victor Lockton. Both those guys were dominant on the interior. Cooper Flagg was slow offensively in that game, only 4 points for the first 36 minutes, scored 14 of Duke's last 17 points.
Jim, we saw him last Tuesday night. Clemson was going to be a handful regardless, right?
Clemson's getting better. They've got a lot of veteran guys. They're going to be difficult in the tournament season.
Yep.
Wait a minute, you talking about being difficult. You guys got them a loss. You went down there and got Brad Brownell and Clemson a loss. He told me he didn't want to see you guys anymore.
He loves me. He does.
He loves me. Oh, my gosh. 7 minutes to go. Sissoko after the turnover by the Blue Devils.
Yeah.
And last touched on the entry pass by Knipple. It'll stay with Cal.
But I don't think I'll mind if I don't go back to Green.
Don't do that.
Come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Love it down there. Love it.
Don't do that. Did you love the possession defensively last time for Mark Madsen going zone against the Blue Devils enforcing the turnover?
You try it. It might work. It probably won't in here, but you're going to try it and just see if it gets them off their stride a little bit.
Foul on Caleb Foster. It's his first. 4th on the Blue Devils.
Eric Lewis looking at the Duke bench after they were upset about the call and looking at the guys like, really? I'm calling that every time. Caleb Foster getting a piece of the arm there, coming up with the steal. But I love what Jon Scheyer's doing right now, getting Caleb Foster action in minutes, trying to get him back integrated into this rotation. Caleb Foster playing without confidence right now, needs to find that to help his Blue Devils team.
What a pass by Blacksher. Stojakovic a scoop and
There you
score
go.
with the right hand. He's got 6.
And he's been doing a great job getting to the rim, Coach.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do, especially against Duke. They're not going to let him shoot from the outside.
Still 11-point Blue Devil lead. Sion James looking for a path to the basket. He'll come to a stop and a travel call by Mark Schnurr, as I think Mark Madsen was trying to help.
Could have been a push.
I agree with you, WD, on this pass. I'm going to go as far as to say Blackshear had zero idea where he was throwing that basketball. He just had to get rid of it because he jumped to pass it. Fortunately for him, his teammate Stojakovic in the right spot and able to get a bucket off of it.
Here's Wilkinson, who hit a 3 early. That's his only basket. Stojakovic, boy, Knipple got there nicely. Stojakovic a step back, and it rattled out on him. Last touch, though, by Sissoko, who was battling Brown.
Stojakovic now 1 of his last 18 from 3.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would close out on him as hard as they are right now. I may give him an opportunity to show me that he can make it because he can absolutely beat you off the bounce. He's shown that throughout this game.
Well, that was a big shot for him. He needs to make one of those.
Would you close out, Jim, or would you give him the look?
I'd probably close out. He's going to make an open one.
You're going based upon his last name.
Yes.
Here's Flagg, a dunk.
There's the zone look, and they screen down on the big guy, and now Cooper gets it right in the middle, and that's an easy one.
Great execution, and it won't show up in the stat sheet, but awesome screen by Malik Brown defensively in that zone, taking Sissoko out of the play.
Duke's just too good against zones.
Take us through this again here, Coach.
Well, they missed the screen down, but there was a little screen inside, and now Cooper gets it in the middle. There's nobody there to defend it. The center can, I always say to our center, you cannot be screened. If the screen comes at you, you know they're trying to get one on the top side. You've got to beat the screen. You cannot let that screen take you down there.
Yeah. WD, I would have loved the conversation when the center did get screened.
Not
after
good.
he told him that.
Not good. If we had a backup, he was coming in.
Ola Joseph short with the three. Flagg the rebound. Brown was called for the foul, by the way. First for Malik Brown. It's the 5th on Duke here. Cal's got 4. We got 5.5 minutes to go in this first frame. It's a 13-point Blue Devil lead. James. And the rebound for J.O.J. Wilkinson front court for Cal. The Stars have been pretty quiet. Stojakovic has 6, Wilkinson 3. That's 9 of their 17.
This is a defensive effort from Duke.
Sure is. It's really good. Blacksher on the drive. Fall away over Brown. And the rebound, James.
But Duke did their job. When they force you to have to take those tough shots, even if they make them, you did the job defensively.
Look at
that's
that.
A block.
Oh, that's a block for Stojakovic.
Yeah, Stojakovic averaging 1.2 blocks per game, joining Cooper, Flagg as one of 3 guys averaging the numbers that he's putting up this year, including the steals and blocks. So Stojakovic not just doing the job on the offensive end of the floor. The other guy, Cooper Flagg, Andre Stojakovic, and Janai Broom. That's great company to be in.
Really?
Right now, it's probably a 2-horse race for Player of the Year, Broom and Cooper. I think right now.
Sion James, the foul. His first, 6 on Duke. Inbounds for Stojakovic against Evans, the freshman. Andre with the right hand, rejected Maluatch, scooped up Andre. Stojakovic right back in and draws the foul.
But watch Showtime Slim move his feet and defend. That's not something you saw from him earlier this year. Does a great job walling up, allowing Khaman Maluatch to come in with the block shot. But the effort defensively by Evans is something that really kept John Shire from playing him heavy minutes early in the year.
Oh, yeah, it was the most scrutinized DNPs you were seeing.
Yeah.
Because fans were like, why is he not playing?
Especially after he comes in and hits 6 threes in the first half against Auburn.
There.
But what he did, he showed John Shire that you can trust him on the defensive end of the floor to give you the effort. Still not a great defender, Coach, but he's going to play much harder on that end.
He's young. Sometimes it takes a guy here, but you got to give Stojakovic a lot of credit there. He got a shot block. He went right after it and turned and came right back at it. He's shown a lot tonight to me in terms of just being tough and getting to the basket.
And it feels like we last saw Andre in Chapel Hill against Carolina, who did a really nice job on him defensively. He didn't score till well into the second half.
He came in averaging over 20 points per game.
There's a backcourt foul on Campbell as Cal continues to kind of ramp up a little pressure here. But it feels like in some sense he's matured as the season has unfolded, knowing he's the #1 guy at the top of the scouting report.
Well, I think he's also recognized he's only shooting 30% from 3. So don't settle for the threes. Continue to use his size and athletic ability, trying to get downhill, attacking the basket. Already 3 field goals for him today, getting to the rim, even though he hasn't been able to get anything going from the outside.
You got to give Cal credit. They're changing up their defenses. They're trying to press. They're trying to switch to the zone. There's a quick call. Foul
on Wilkinson. It's his second.
But, Coach, I think you have to do that against Duke, right? You don't want to give them a steady diet of anything to allow them to be comfortable.
No.
16 foul on the Bears, by the way. The second on the freshman from Powder Springs, who, by the way, is the 3-time ACC Rookie of the Week, Jeremiah Wilkson. Only Cooper Flagg's one more.
Put it this way, WD. Wilkinson has 3 times more than anyone else in the league except for Cooper Flagg,
who has 3 times more than Jeremiah Wilkson. Yeah.
So they call a runaway.
Yeah, well, it's a runaway, all right. Proctor against Ola Joseph. Here's Knipple. Baseline and good.
It was a smart play by Knipple to go drive the baseline, and when the help has to stay with Maluatch and don't give up the rim, now you allow Knipple to be able to get just a little bit of separation and go to the mid-range.
Largest lead, 13. Ola Joseph, 10 to shoot. Duke digs down defensively. Now Wilkson against Proctor. Ooh, what a screen. Wilkson foul line, couldn't hit it. Dort the rebound, and a held ball will stay with the Bears, and that'll get us to a timeout.
Yeah, Proctor's going to feel that screen a little bit, though, WD. John Shire not happy with there not being a call on that one, even though he's happy with a 13-point lead. Because whatever happened at the end of the Florida State Wake game, he probably did, and he's still scarred from what happened between he and Coach Boeheim afterwards. So that's probably why my man MCW didn't say a word.
MCW was so good, he never got yelled at in his last year. He was
you didn't even play him as a freshman. What do you mean?
That's why I never yelled at him. He wasn't in the game. And the next year he was in the game the whole game.
And you didn't yell at him because he was so good, right?
He was so good.
Oh, my goodness. 13-point lead for Duke. Mason Gillis back on the floor. Second sequence we've seen him here in this first half with Evans. Here's Knipple. By the way, Flagg on the bench here. John Shire really is trying to kind of find those rotations, tune them up a little bit. Yeah, now that he's got everybody back.
Having Mason Gillis back absolutely helps you get Cooper Flagg some rest.
Proctor couldn't get the roll. Stojakovic front court trailing 13. No field goals last 3.5. There's the turnover by the Bears.
It's all defense for Duke.
Knipple bounced away.
Good look. And once again, off of a deflection, so it's almost free money right there to when you get that deflection, get out in transition, opportunity for you to score points off of turnovers. WD, the Blue Devils had 18 points off turnovers versus Clemson in the game on Saturday, so they were able to exploit that. Clemson shot close to 70% in the first half. However, Duke was still had a lead simply because of all those points off turnovers.
Here goes Proctor on the drive, and that's going to be a foul, I believe, on Dort. Jeb Hartness out from underneath. And it is on the Vanderbilt transfer from Dallas. That's Big Lee Dort, who goes 6'10", 245.
And Duke's movement has been really good tonight. And they're getting good shots. They're getting to the basket area. They're getting open threes. And this is, especially when Cooper goes out of the game, this is good for them to be able to learn how to play and score when he's on the bench.
Proctor the free throw. Don't forget, softball season rolls on. The Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational coming up this weekend. ACC Network is the home for 4 games. Starting on Thursday at 2, Kentucky, Virginia. And you see Friday as Florida State, Saturday Clemson, and Sunday at 10 o'clock UCLA in Virginia. It's here for you on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Nice first half for Proctor, by the way.
How about the beautiful weekend in Charlottesville on grounds at University of Virginia? We already did a promo for Richmond visiting in lacrosse. Now you've got 2 softball games, Kentucky and UCLA visiting.
No, those are in Clearwater, Florida.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, a little better than Charlottesville. No offense to Charlottesville.
What?
No offense, but the weather in Clearwater.
It's a little warmer down there, you know.
Well, I mean, if anyone's talking about warmer, it shouldn't be you. You clearly like cold weather.
Sissoko fouled by Gumbo.
They said it was cold here today, and I said, what?
It's a summer spring day for you right now. Yeah, easy.
Okay. Foul on Patrick Gungba, the true freshman from Manassas, Virginia. It'll be his first. 8th on the Blue Devils, and Madi Sissoko, who is a 70% free throw shooter. This is a terrific young man. There's a wonderful story on the Cal website about Sissoko taking his NIL earnings back into his home village in Mali and developing water operations and things for the villages. And so, I mean, just a remarkable sense of who he is and where he's from.
I had a couple kids from Africa and did the same thing, sent money home from parents or to the school back home.
Second is short. So it's 33-20. Under 2 to go in the first half.
See,
here's Flagg.
This looks a little different defensively. Somewhat of a zone, but you got to find that guy at the top of the key. Cooper Flagg missing a good look
Look at the big fella rip it away and draw the foul.
Cal's having trouble scoring, but they're doing a good job of trying to hang into this game. I mean, there's a little too much separation right now, but if they could get a couple buckets at the end of the half here, it give them a thought that they could come back in the second half.
Second on Knipple.
Also an opportunity for them to put points on the boards without having to do it at the free throw line. Sissoko back at the stripe. Went 1 of 2 on the last trip. But as you mentioned, Coach, has the opportunity to get closer, cut into that lead a little bit without the clock running.
And when you get in here, you have to make your free throws. You have to make a couple shots to be in the game. They missed another one.
Missed the front end of the 1-1, so 1 of 3 is Marty Sissoko at the line. Here goes Flagg through the lane with the left hand. He'll take the contact and shoot free throws. Sissoko, that will be his first. And that'll be the 8th on Cal here in this second half as we wind down these final 93 seconds. Taylor and Luke and MCW at the break. Louisville a winner tonight in Raleigh. Florida State in Wake, and there was drama all over the place in Winston-Salem. And Georgia Tech held Maxime Reynaud tonight to 8 points on 4 of 13. Meanwhile, Nate George had 22 points and Dongo had 15 points and 16 rebounds for Georgia Tech.
Well, Nate George has been maybe the most improved player in the league, especially from the beginning of the year. He's just been tremendous.
I'm going to argue that one, Coach, but we'll get into that one later.
Well, I'm not giving it to him outright, but he's been pretty good.
Stojakovic definitely one of the most improved as we see Wilkinson knocking down the 3-ball at the top of the key.
Yep.
But how about a guy that played for the Duke Blue Devils a year ago and now part of the Stanford Cardinal, Jalen Blakes, who has the highest increase in points per game nationally.
He's had a good year. I like Nate George just because of all the stuff he does, the assists, the handling the ball, running the team.
Yeah, love what Nate George is doing. Had a big game you guys called against when they went to Clemson and won that triple overtime game.
Unbelievable.
He was huge.
Stojakovic baseline fall away on Gungba, no good. James the rebound. Lead is 15 for the Blue Devils. Cal just 1 of their last 8. Proctor out front. Now he'll tee up a 3. Front rim miss. Blacksher on the run. Kick out. Wilkinson lefty 3. Too strong. They crash the glass. Stojakovic had it. It gets knocked around, and the final possession will belong to the Blue Devils.
You can call it a small thing, but no recognition of time and score on that possession. It was an opportunity for Cal to take the last shot of the half, and they take a quick one, giving the basketball back to the Blue Devils with an opportunity to add to their lead.
.-point lead for John Shire and Duke. The use it or lose it timeout with 13 to go here in the first. And the Blue Devils have fired it away at about a 45% clip from the floor. Cal under 29 here in this first half.
All defense, but to Corey's point, as a coach, you just hate to see somebody run in there and try to take a shot when you get the last shot.
Yeah. And that's the difference, Coach. If Duke scores here, now they get to 40, even 41. So push the lead up to 17-18 in comparison to if Cal is able to keep that last possession and get a score, you're talking about possibly a 13-point game.
It's a big difference.
Zone from the Golden Bears here.
Duke has been really good against this zone. They get a lot of weapons.
Flagg, the runner. Here comes Campbell from the beyond the midcourt line. Oh, and it hit the back of the rim. But Duke is still going to take a 38-23 lead to the locker room. So the number 3 Blue Devils in control here in the first
Luke
half.
Hancock in studio. Hold it down for your home state of Virginia. Coach Boeheim talking about Clearwater better than Virginia. Come on, man. Stop it. Hold it down for us, Luke.
We're going with MCW. Thanks, Michael.
Taylor Tannenbaum, good luck.
What they've been able to rely on for the majority of ACC play. Cooper Flagg with 13 points in the first half. Tyrese Proctor, the only player who's made multiple three-point field goals for the Blue Devils, and he continues his stellar play here for Duke.
Bears with the ball to start second half. Here's Stojakovic to work off the baseline. Knipple the rebound. And the Blue Devils back on the attack. Very quickly. Proctor digging in on Blackshear.
Ooh, nice steal. Nice play.
And Wilkinson comes away with the turnover and the basket. So the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia, has now got 8 in the ball game.
And Wilkinson continues to do the job on both ends of the floor. And then when you get easy baskets as such, Coach, for a scorer, you love to see your top guys getting out in the transition, right?
Yeah, that's the kind. And that play was there last time. They missed it. They found it this time.
But when you often see the Blue Devils go to something on the interior to start games, to start halves, oftentimes it's a lob to Maluatch, Coach. You mentioned they had it on the first possession, but didn't execute it correctly. This time they get it done on the second offensive possession of the half.
High percentage shot.
Blackshear. Front rim miss of the 3. James the rebound. Lead for Flagg. Oh, couldn't quite flag it down.
I see what you did there.
No, very good. James through traffic. Ooh, before the Sissoko rejection. A foul, I believe, on Javon Blackshear.
Duke often puts you in such a predicament when they play pick and roll action, because what is Sissoko supposed to do there other than get dunked on? If he doesn't take away Maluatch, then Proctor gets the layup.
Yeah.
And when he commits to Proctor, you throw it up and end up being on the wrong side of a highlight from Khaman Maluatch.
Yeah. He can't. Proctor can't get in that deep. If he gets in that deep, he's going to make that play or have an easy layup.
Can I just offer you this, that in the last 6.5 games, Sion James has now had 26 assists and 5 turnovers. Is that any good?
He's pretty good.
I never saw any type of assist to turnover ratio that looked anything like that. But Sion James has been the perfect complement to this Blue Devil squad. And most importantly, it's allowed Tyrese Proctor to get off the ball and become more of a shooter.
10 for Wilkinson now. A couple of threes in the first half, and Cal's first 2 field goals here in half 2. Flagg against Petritis. Tough matchup for Reedus.
Cannot help.
Proctor 3 from the front, Coach.
Yeah, cannot help off him. You got to help someplace else.
And Wilkinson just puts his hand in the air, letting everyone know that's my bad, leaving a guy that's already knocked down 50% of his threes here today.
45-27. 18-point lead with 2 and change gone. Blackshear in traffic, finds Petritis underneath.
It's a good play from Blackshear. He struggled. He's 0 for 6. He hasn't been able to get points on the board.
Javon Blackshear might lead the country in assists off passes when he leaves his feet. It's a unique category. Maluatch fouled by Sissoko.
That was a collision between 2 big guys. Maluatch taking a second to get up, but Sissoko making sure that he did not give up the dunk.
There was going to be no dunk that time.
No, it was not. Maluatch came in with mean intentions, however, and gives Sissoko a lot of credit. He goes vertically, but just strong enough to be able to body up Maluatch, knock him backwards, and to prevent that highlight from happening.
And he brought his hands down. That's when they're going to call that every time. You got to keep your hands straight up.
So here is Khaman Maluatch from the South Sudan, who wears number 9. Corey, you know why he wears 9, right?
I'm going to go with Luol Deng.
It is a nod to Luol Deng, who was his mentor in the Sudan. And, of course, he played on the South Sudan Olympic team last summer in the Olympics. And got to tell you, that group was competitive in the bracket that the U.S. finally won the gold with.
Yeah, they gave the U.S. everything that they could handle, just like Knipple is doing on the interior. The second chance points for the Blue Devils. Now they have a 14-4 advantage.
Wilkinson against Flagg. Proctor helped out, 10 to shoot. Petritis now. Skips for Stojakovic against Knipple. Andre trying to find a crease. Fall away is short off the front rim, and here's Flagg.
They just don't give you anything easy.
Cooper through traffic and one.
He uses his left hand just about as well as anybody. He just gets in there and uses it. This is a great play.
Yeah, we've seen Cooper go to the left hand off, and this time off a rebound, brings it 94 feet, attacking the basket, goes by Petritis, and then attacking Sissoko. We saw what he did Khaman Maluatch on the earlier possession. None of that to be had by Cooper Flagg, who allows it to hang on the rim just a little while before he flexes.
So here is Flagg, who, as Corey told you, hitting 53% from the floor against the league, 46 from behind the line, and 84 at the foul line.
That's pretty good. I guess that's why he might be the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. He's also 5 for 5 at the line. He's got 16 now in the game.
His release has gotten better as the year's gone along. He's going to be a really good shooter someday.
Yeah, went spent some time at home with his dad, Ralph, got in the gym over the Christmas break, and really regained that shooting touch. He said he was lacking it in the first part of the season for the Blue Devils, but then once he turned 18, has been able to turn it up.
Petritis a miss on the three. Proctor the rebound. And then stolen Blacksher.
Oh, that's
standing
three
right
there.
Nope. Maluatch the rebound.
Confidence for no reason. He's 0 for 7.
Would that be irrational confidence,
yeah,
Coach?
That would be.
The lead is 21. It's largest for the Blue Devils. There's a bump and a foul on Petritis.
You just can't guard him when he gets that angle on you and gets to the lane.
I just think the one thing, Corey and Coach, that gets discussed about Flagg, and the one thing I've noticed in seeing him live, first of all, I think he's better live than he is on television. No offense to our industry. But I think he sees the floor, Corey, at 94 feet just about as well as anybody I've ever seen live.
He really does, and he celebrates his teammates' success. That's the best part about his game is he's not looking for individual success. He's about winning, so he knows his teammates have to be successful. For them to win was part of the reason why he's in the top 10 in the ACC in assists as well.
Yep. Here's James. Out front, Flagg over the top of Petritis. And tapped home Maluatch. 10 now for Khaman Maluatch.
Coach,
Cal just can't score. When you can't score, you just can't play a team like Duke.
Now they got the worst field goal shooting percentage in ACC play at under 40%.
And it's going to be a lot lower tonight.
Blacksher. And Flagg the rebound on the backside.
but what an advantage to have your 6'9" freshman. We call him a 4, but he's really not that. With the ability to rebound and then facilitate, initiating offense, allows the Blue Devils really to get out in transition and play much faster.
Another one? Nope. Khaman hit one in the first half, his second of the year.
That's enough for him.
Here's Wilkinson. And James the rebound.
They just can't make a shot.
No, the Cal night is not getting better.
Even when they're getting the open looks on that, like that last possession, those are the ones you have to capitalize on. And we saw Cal get a lot of those shots early in the game. And when you don't make them, Coach, early, does that start to weigh you down from a confidence standpoint?
No question. You just have to see the ball go in.
Bears are 3 of 11 from the floor in this second half. And a timeout is taken. The lead 23 for number 3 Duke here tonight at Cameron. Counter punch tonight. I think it's interesting. 2 different physical dimensions, but both very effective and impactful for their team.
They're both very impactful for their teams, but one, an 18-year-old, one of the 4 youngest players in the conference,
right,
and one a 5th-year senior who is a grown man at this point in his career and played a lot of big games at Michigan State. So you're seeing the experience versus potential in that matchup between the two. And right now you have to say that potential's winning.
6.5 years older.
Ooh.
Sissoko is 24 years old. There's a foul on Evans. So Isaiah Evans sees the floor. 6'6" freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina for the first time. Better known, by the way, as Showtime Slim. Comes in ready to shoot But to his credit, he has found meaningful minutes in the rotation of Duke as the season has gone along. And I think he's a piece too, Corey, that down the stretch for the Blue Devils, Evans is going to have to be a factor.
And John Shire is starting to trust him more and more throughout the season. He understands that he needs his shooting, but he loves his mentality coming off the bench, always ready. He talked about in previous games where he'll start inching closer and closer to his seat, start rocking his leg, letting Coach Shire know, I'm ready to go, Coach. It's about my time.
11 to shoot for Cal. And Stojakovic with Knipple defending to put it in play. Here's Campbell winding around Evans to the basket with a right hand.
And a great job by Evans defensively, walling up and forcing a tough shot, not allowing Campbell to be able to get the layup on that possession.
And here's Proctor now against DJ Campbell. Brown the screen. He'll challenge Dort. Look at that. And offensive foul on Malik Brown.
I'm not sure. And when you think about that, Malik Brown gets stopped by Dort, but is it because there's the offensive foul. It's that left elbow to the chin. They're going to go over and look at this one and see if that needs to be upgraded for a flagrant one. Hard to see that, well, from our angle, but more importantly,
he's lucky to see the court from here.
For a possible flagrant foul.
That's Eric Lewis, the referee, with Mark Schnurr. They'll be to the monitor here first. And, of course, Jeff Hartness rounds out our officiating crew.
Mark Schnurr, one of my travel partners. We hang out in the Sky Club together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
You know, he gets me into the American Club. I, of course, take him in the Sky Club.
You know, you don't really want to talk about hanging out with a referee.
Those are my people. I am a referee-friendly broadcaster.
And let me say this.
You never coach. That's all I can say.
Since the Hall of Famer has joined us, he's become very officiating friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
These guys.
So,
like I've always said, these officials in the ACC really they do a great job. Now, I didn't say they were good, but they're better than some guys around the country.
All right, so now as you sit in this seat, how are you going to assess this one? Is this a flagrant one, or will this be just
I would say it was completely accidental. They'll probably call it a flagrant one, but they'll probably call it a flagrant. But
after review, the play has been upgraded to a flagrant one with elbow to the face.
So flagrant one on Malik Brown, and we'll get another version of it.
It absolutely is accidental. However, you can't measure intent. The elbow does make contact above the shoulders, which means that will absolutely be a flagrant one foul.
Yep.
Nothing like your old days of coaching in the 80s when you could punch somebody and just be a common foul, correct, Coach?
Pretty much.
Lee Dort is 61% at the line.
In the Big East, there'd be no players left in the game if that was a flagrant.
And the first one good for the Dallas junior. 22 years of age is Lee Dort, born in Haiti a year ago at Vanderbilt, 17 games. Or actually, one game a year ago, 17 games 2 years ago in the 23 campaign.
He was injured last year, correct?
Yep.
Able to split the pair on the flagrant free throws, but Cal gets the basketball back with an opportunity to try to cut into this lead. It's 22 right now, and if you're Mark Madsen, you're trying to find something to go in your favor. Remember, the trip over is 2 games, so they're going to play again on Saturday, and you want to be able to take some type of positive momentum into your weekend game.
Wilkinson trying to find something against Knipple, and he does. 2-point pull-up.
That was really his best one-on-one situation in this game. He took his time, he got in the lane, and got a really good shot.
But playing against Duke is one of the very few teams that will allow you to play one-on-one because they force you to have to make great individual plays to beat them.
Proctor scores on the drive. He's now got 14.
That's that same scenario we saw from Proctor earlier where he throws the alley-oop to Maluatch, but he puts the big in such a predicament there. You take him away or you give up a layup, which we saw in the last possession.
That was a layup.
Here's the pull-up Wilkinson. And the rebound for Ola Joseph, and a reach-in foul on Gillis.
Once again, Proctor getting downhill, and you see Dort retreating because he doesn't want to give up the alley-oop to Malik Brown. And so as he stunts, trying to take away Proctor, Proctor not deterred at all, able to get the easy left-hand layup.
4th foul on Duke, 2nd on Mason Gillis out of Newcastle, Indiana.
Newcastle, Indiana, WD.
Home of Steve Alford.
The largest high school basketball arena in the country.
That is correct. Yep.
Played there, coaching at Oak Hill. My guy, Steve Smith.
Who's here tonight?
In the building tonight. Came up to see Coach Boeheim.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach.
Yep. One of the greats at Oak Hill.
I don't know how many he won, but he probably won at least 10 national championships, didn't he?
I think it's 9. I think the number is actually 9.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
And to get there, you can't get there.
No, that's very true. You're one of the very few that has been to mouth of Wilson multiple times.
Multiple times.
Evans lob for Brown, got batted away. Almost 8 minutes gone here in the second half. Petritis on the receiving end, and Evans knocked it over the end line. Here comes Foster, Flagg for Duke. Proctor will check out, and Evans will come out. No, Knipple.
Yep.
So we're going to see, excuse me, Jim, we're going to see Gillis and Flagg together here, Corey.
And that's one of the lineups that John Shire talked to us about, is being able to implement that. And you really have Cooper now playing the 3 position,
right,
with Gillis at the 4, Malik Brown at the 5. So Malik Brown and Gillis have both missed time for the Blue Devils this year. John Shire is so excited to have both those guys back in the rotation.
1st on Flagg, 5th on the Blue Devils. Fresh 20 for Cal. And Flagg, boy, does not turn the motor down at all.
Doesn't know what that means.
That's the beauty.
He doesn't know what that means.
Every play.
So this very important stretch for Caleb Foster. Reason being, Caleb Foster does not have a field goal since the Miami game.
Wow.
He's had 3 field goals in that game. Doesn't have one since. This is the opportunity for him now to get going and try to find some confidence.
Foster into traffic. Back to Flagg. Duke by 22. Look at Cooper Flagg go Marcus Haynes. Good heavens. You can Google it if you're younger folk.
I would go Curly Neal, but
that was a good call too. He's from Greensboro. We get a foul on
Marcus
Cal.
Haynes was before your time.
This is true, Coach.
Yeah, Curly Neal was from Greensboro. When we come back, the Golden Bears as the ACC goes coast to coast.
We're about 1-9 on the trips. It's too hard. They're doing everything right. They're not making excuses, but it's just too hard in my mind to make kids travel that much 4 times across the country and playing games and being away from home. I think it's just too hard.
And I think the ACC can help by eliminating at least one of those trips as we see Cooper Flagg go to the turnaround by during the Christmas break, when neither of those schools are in, allow them to stay at least 2 weeks to play 4 to 5 games on the East Coast, allow them to get acclimated. They're not missing class time, and allow them to be able to play those games and eliminate at least one of those trips across country.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is you have school break, Christmas breaks, and the schools don't want to play with no students there.
But they're playing games anyway. That's still the time where you're playing ACC games, so you got to play somebody.
Yeah, they're trying to cut back on the ACC games.
Here's steal by Flagg and the open floor.
Hey!
Oh!
That'll be on Sports Center.
Yes, it will.
I see you, young fella, now. We've talked about Cooper's dunks throughout the year. And even though this one is not catching the body, I'm putting this one at number 1. My young fella with a little showtime on this one. Even a smile on the way back. Recognizing his own work. Cooper Flagg showing off here at home.
Defense, and boy, the Blue Devils have responded here tonight.
Yeah, a different team, obviously, than Clemson, but they've really done a good job defensively. Made it hard for Cal to get anything good.
Coach, how important is it to have games like that at Clemson where you're unable to get get the win? Is it a wake-up call? Is it something as a coach you often say, maybe our team needed this?
Well, I don't like that, but I think you do learn a little bit more. Kids listen a little bit more when you lose a game like that.
Tyrese on the board, his second 3 of the night. He's got 9 in the game.
Usually when you avoid a loss like that, you win by a couple at the end, the kind of lesson kind of goes away.
Yeah. Flagg has got another 20-point game. Evans has a 3 bound away. That was last touch by the Bears, I think. No, says Eric Lewis. Off of Blue Devils. So it'll stay with Cal with under 10 to go, and Dort is out. And so is Stojakovic. Sissoko and DJ Campbell return. There's a look at Cooper Flagg's night.
This is a great opportunity for Duke to get some other guys some game opportunities to try to get better.
By the way, it's his 9th 20-point game in conference play.
Not bad for a freshman.
Young guy, 18, barely figuring it out.
Coach, you coached, in my opinion, the best one-and-done freshman in the college basketball game.
Wait a second.
Wilkinson is able to knock down the 3-ball. He's talking about best one-and-done freshman. But I believe you coached the best one in Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, he led us to the national championship. Had 34 points in the national championship game. Semifinals had 28. I mean, he was just a man back then.
If Cooper Flagg is able to lead this Duke team to a national championship, which is that has to happen to be in that category. Yeah. Do you place him in the same standing as Carmelo Anthony and what he's been able to do this season?
If he can go that far, I mean, he does more things. Melo was more of a rebounder and scorer. Cooper does some things defensively that very few guys really can do, and helps everybody be better. He's really a point forward type player, that kind of player. They don't come along very often. I mean, he's different. Everybody said that all year long, and he's held up to that. He's actually, I think, gone beyond that a little bit. He gets better every time I see him. And the biggest thing he has, he's got a toughness to him.
Here's Wilkinson. Tried to, nice pass to Tyrese, and Sissoko off the bounce pass. It hit the back iron for Maluatch.
And is that double-double number 4 for Maluatch?
I think so, yep. Sure is. And there's a block by Monty. Here come the Bears the other way. Tyrese. Sissoko double clutch. Maluatch affected that. We're going to get a held ball. And possession will go to the Blue Devils.
We talked about the injuries to Malik Brown, and then, of course, Mason Gillis getting sick, missing time. That may have been the best thing that could have happened for this Duke team, according to when you consider the development of Khaman Maluatch, because he was forced to have to play more minutes, and understanding that he can't get in foul trouble. But he had back-to-back double-doubles during that stretch without Malik Brown. I believe he has a different level of confidence now when he steps on the floor in comparison to before.
Knippel short on the 3. Sissoko the rebound.
You saw Knippel chase that one, Coach. Are you still a fan of following your shot?
No, very seldom do shooters do that.
There you go.
Very seldom.
I tried to explain that before, but I'm glad you backed me up on that one. There's not a lot of confidence when you're following your shot. Normally as a shooter, when you let it go, you think it's going in. There's no need to follow it up.
Most shooters go backwards. We had a guy a long time ago that fouled the shot, John Bagley at Boston College. This is way back. He used to get 2 or 3 offensive rebounds every game because he would just go right for it.
Yeah. They say that the person that misses the shot knows where it's going.
Yeah.
In my mind, I never missed one, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about that.
Proctor high off the glass over Sissoko. What a nice ball game for Tyrese Proctor now, who's got 16 in the game.
WD, this is really the balanced scoring that they had when they played against North Carolina. You had 3 guys with 20 points, and Flagg, Proctor, and Knippel, all 3 of those guys scoring 20.
There'll be a foul on Proctor. That'll get us to a timeout. Under 7. Duke by 23.
It's SMU and Wake Forest. SMU 0-4 versus Quad 1. They're going to have to get 15, maybe even 16 wins And that when that one opportunity in the quad one that they have remaining in conference play, Wake Forest, after losing tonight, they're going to have to get both of their remaining quad one games, including a victory here in Cameron Indoor.
And the way the NCAA committee works, if you don't have a couple of quad one wins, because all these other conferences have 8 or 10 teams, when you play them, their quad one wins, you're going to get them. So I think they're, at the end of the day, when the committee looks at their record, even if they have 15 wins, if they have 1 or maybe 2 quad one wins, it's going to be hard.
At one point, though, does quad one wins and quad 3 losses counter one another? Like, is there value to one more so than the other?
I think at the end of the day, they really look at that quad one wins, even though it's unfair because some teams are playing 14 or 15 quad one games, and if they win 5 of them, they're 5 and 10, but they got 5. In the ACC, you might have 1 or 2, but you might only have 8 or 6 opportunities to get a quad one win.
Corey, you agree with that?
Here's the I absolutely agree with Coach, but here's the other side to that. That is the remainder of the regular season. We also have to include the ACC tournament, where you could have more opportunities to get those quad one wins, and then be able to build on that resume for if you don't win the ACC tournament, you still have those games under your belt.
For clarity on the Deacons, their 2 quad one opportunities are at SMU on Saturday and here in Durham. For SMU, their 1 quad one opportunity is a week from Saturday, Clemson at Moody Coliseum.
And so you have that opportunity against Clemson, but then you're talking about teams that will, if they're getting 15 wins, they're going to be that top 4 in the ACC tournament. And so now you're automatically going to get great opportunities in your Thursday quarterfinals, as well as if you're able to advance to the semifinals on Friday and possibly that Saturday championship game.
Here is Flagg in traffic. Fall away over Sissoko is short. Maluatch the rebound. Sissoko rejected that. Blackshear the other way. Duke by 23 as we come up on 5 minutes to play, and Javon Blackshear's first points of the game.
And give Cal credit, they're not quitting and not giving up, but there's so much to be gained on this trip. You have to consider that they're going to be on the East Coast for 3 more days, 2 days off the practice time, and then we'll have a game Saturday. So they have an opportunity to be able to take something away from this game. Even though they're down big, you want to finish on a positive momentum.
Knipple the miss, Petritus the rebound. Bears on the move here. Wilkinson thought about it. Here's the kick out for Blackshear and another 3. 5 straight for Javon Blackshear and a Mark Madsen timeout.
A little too late.
65-47. Under 5 to go at Cameron. Number 3 Duke on the way to their 13th league win. 14 from the floor tonight, guys. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals for the freshman.
And he didn't wait till the second half to really get going. Ran into his mom after the loss at Clemson, and that was the first thing she said. He can't wait until half number 2 to start playing. And he absolutely had 13 points in the first half of this one. And then the reverse dunk with a little smile over it to the camera.
Just always listen to your mother if she tells you something. That's all I can tell you.
I can tell you what, she tells him a lot, Coach. She tells him a lot. Kelly, of course, Coach Cooper for Maine United, along with his brother Ace, who's playing for our guy Freddie at Greensboro.
Yeah, Freddie Johnson.
Yeah, Greensboro Day now. So I'm sure Ace checking the game out after practice or game tonight.
Well, whatever she's been telling him, it's working pretty good.
Well, she was a pretty good player herself. When you think about not just Kelly, but you've got a number of big-time moms in this Duke program. We've already talked about Sherry Knipple, as well as Tajma Gungba, who was a former WNBA player, Patrick Gumba's mom. So some moms who got buckets on this Duke roster.
Facts. Under 5 to go. Eric Lewis on the baseline. I think the ball got kicked. Mark Madsen and trying to get his group set. Here's Sion James on the inbounds, and now Proctor front court. Duke, by the way, will have Stanford here on Saturday. Corey will be back in the crow's nest, right?
With Dickie V. It's going to be crazy in here, even crazier than it normally is with the crazies.
Yep. Flagg on the drive. Front rim miss and a foul.
Late.
So Stanford and Duke, ABC, and the matchup will be Cooper Flagg, Maxime Reynaud, who was held to 8 points tonight on 4 of 13 in Atlanta. So two of the top scorers, maybe the guy who's got a chance to be the leading scorer and the leading rebounder in the ACC when the year's over in Reynaud.
And again, in a normal year, that would be an automatic for ACC Player of the Year, but I wouldn't call this a normal year when you've got a freshman playing at the level he's playing. But, you know, we've seen freshmen win ACC Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. And Zion's done it, but there was one actually who did it before Zion. You remember who that was? Won a national championship for the Blue Devils.
Big guy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got WD.
Jahlil Okafor.
There you go.
I was just letting Boeheim have a swing at it.
All right, I got you.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to be a fair guy. You're a team guy. I'm trying to share the rock a little bit with you guys. You know, come on.
I get it. And Marvin Bagley didn't win Player of the Year, I don't believe, but he was. I know he led. I believe he led the ACC in scoring and possibly rebounding as well. Was in the mix for Player of the Year, and then Vernon Carey.
That's right.
Could have very well won it, but was not on the ballot.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that story.
His teammate Trey Jones was ACC Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year.
Sissoko missed the front end. Yeah, Chicago's Jahlil Okafor. His 1 year in this league gets lost sometimes.
It really does, in a national championship to boot.
Yep.
So, but he had a great freshman class along with him, and Trey Jones, Justice Winslow.
Yep. Out of the corner, James.
My son Buddy played against Okafor in the G League. He's still playing and he has a huge impact on that league.
Just got called up to the Indiana Pacers. I believe they knew the Lakers were going to come get him if the Pacers didn't call them up.
70-47. Stojakovic trying to find a way. Boy, do you see James leaning a little bit on the help there? Wilkinson and one.
It took him a while, but he's been good in this half.
4th 3 of the night for Jeremiah Wilkson. Oh, it looks like Corey Alexander just spotting up and ripping.
I wish my left hand looked like that. Well, here's the shot. I was an elite baseball player.
Oh, my gosh.
But the worst part about it was I had to wear a Boston Red Sox hat, and I'm a Yankees fan. But I can tell you right now, our producer, Will Black, the best, and I say it with my chest, the best young catcher I've ever seen.
Okay.
Young man had so much command behind the plate. Leadership, and no question as to why he was going to be great in life. And now we see he gets to actually tell Jim Boeheim what to do. I tell you what, my guy Will Black is absolutely made it. My man Bob Black has to be proud of his son.
Yep.
That is one of the greatest overstatements I've ever heard in my life. What has Will Black got on you? Holy my God. First of all, Will Black's about 5'2", so I don't know how he could be that great of a catcher.
Coach, he's bigger than that.
And he lives in Durham and doesn't know Toro Pizzeria.
Oh, no,
which
here we go.
is beyond me.
Right.
Because it's as good as any pizza you're going to get anywhere, including New York City.
Yeah. And it's a Boeheim Bites favorite, Corey.
Well, for the record, there are a lot of people in the state of North Carolina that are absolutely happy that Jim Boeheim said that there was anything here better than New York City.
Tons of great places. Tons. I love this food in North Carolina.
21-point lead for Duke. Sissoko lost it on the pocket pass try from Blackshear. Here's Darren Harris, a look away. Foster the three. Nope. Bounds away. Gunba the rebound.
Big Pat could play a part for this team as the season goes along.
Yep.
He got some experience and some minutes when Malik Brown was out of the lineup with injury. Now you see John Shire going with both bigs on the floor, which is something I think they'll do more often, especially after they were exposed on the interior at Clemson.
Sissoko and Brown fouls Petritus. 3rd on Brown, 7 on Duke, or 9 on Duke rather. And quick reminder to you, we got ACC Network Women's Basketball presented by Ally tomorrow night. Westmore and the Wolfpack welcome Miami to Reynolds Coliseum at 6. Number 2, Notre Dame on the road at Pitt at 8. And then late night, the Cuse and Cardinal from Maples Pavilion, 10 o'clock. That means Justin Walters and Nothing But Net about 12:15 on Friday morning Eastern time.
I did that last year. Don't remind me.
Petritus the free throw.
1 o'clock in the morning, then you get on the road to drive up to Syracuse.
No. The average person doesn't do that.
No,
they go to the hotel and go to sleep.
Well, I'm definitely not average.
This is true.
We can confirm that you are not average.
Might be below average with that move.
Yeah, that would be what Julie would say.
Julie did not like that.
No, she didn't talk to me for a couple of days.
74-53. Cal is going to lose for the 4th time in their last 5. There's a steal by Dort. Here's Wilkinson. Behind the back against Gillis in a score.
And Wilkinson now over 20 points.
Yep.
And so he averaging 19.8 in his last 6 games. Will continue to keep that average up in the starting lineup. I talked with Garrett earlier today, their, of course, sports information director, and asked, is there a number of games as Caleb Foster gets his first field goal in their last 7 games? And so great to see Caleb getting in the mix, but is there a number of games where he is no longer in contention for 6th man of the year?
Good question. Might have to get some clarity on that before we see the Golden Bears in Louisville the last week of the regular season. We're going to see Cal on a trip to see the Cardinals on their last road swing, which, by the way, they will then convert to the ACC tournament in Charlotte. Foster the kick out. Evans. That spun out.
I like the way Cal and Coach Madsen has got them to play the whole game. I mean, it's obvious they were not going to win the game for a long time, but they're going after it. They're playing hard, and the freshman Wilkinson has had a really good second half. And it's tough to come in here. You can get beat 30 or 40 in here if you're not really tough and physical.
Yeah, I think I really do respect Mark Madsen, who's now 100%. In his 2nd year. And he's done a terrific job of trying to get Cal and go north with this. And they've done the transfer portal, Jim. They're trying to recruit good players. I mean, Wilkinson's terrific.
Well, the bottom line is in the ACC, and we all know this, everybody has to put more money into NIL, and you have to get better players. It's somebody asked me a long time ago, how do you coach a long time? It's get good players, because you're not out coaching people in the college level. They don't care who you are. You have to have good players, and the SEC is the best league because they have the most good players, and we're falling behind, and we need to make sure we make up for it in the next year.
Dort out of the game. 19-point game with 75 seconds left. And Christian Tucker in the ball game. There's a steal. That is Dessler knocking it away. Bears on the turnover. Wilkinson back for Tucker. Quick look inside. Jack McCloskey out of Mater Dei in the Southern California area.
I tell you what, me and John Shire about to have beef.
There's a rebound by Darren Harris. What's the matter with you and Coach Shire?
No Spencer Hubbard. I need to see my guy Spencer get in the game. I don't see him at the table. He told me his mom was watching.
There's always something that somebody has to complain about.
Yeah, Gungba fouled by McCloskey on the way to the basket. Patrick's going to get free throws.
Spencer lost a shooting game earlier today to Chris Carrawell.
Yeah, he did.
And so I was on Spencer, and I told him, I said, you get in the game tonight, you better let it fly. And he said, and I said, if you don't, I'm talking bad about you. He said, CA, don't do that. My mom's going to be watching. I said, well, just let mom know. Look at my guy Spencer right there.
Locked in.
At 5'8", the only player under 6'5" on the Duke roster. But I can tell you right now, he is absolutely a favorite, not only amongst the fans here, but also with his team. They have nothing but respect for that young man, who, of course, grew up in Los Angeles and California. So, Mom, it's a normal time for her.
Harvard Westlake.
Yeah,
he's played in 22 career games. Tonight would have been 23.
Me and John.
Well, you and Shire can take it. You and Dave O'Brien and Coach Vitale will be here on Saturday. You can take up that beef
Saturday. I got to talk it out with my guy.
Mahoney the miss. Rebound by Foster. Stanford Cardinal will be here to see the Blue Devils. Cal is headed to Atlanta. They get Saturday afternoon in Midtown against Georgia Tech.
This is a good bounce back game for Duke. They really did a good job defensively. And we saw Cooper Flagg tonight do a little bit of everything.
Yep. Blue Devils are going to win easily, 78-57. They're now 13-1 in the ACC, and keep their game lead on both Clemson and Louisville.